Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater. Probably going to be a short one tonight. Last few days, I've been pretty sick. I'm feeling a little bit better. Wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to do this live stream tonight or not, but figured I might as well give it a shot and give it all I got. Shelby is sitting this one out. I, for once, got sick first, and I think she's catching exactly what I had. So nothing really major or anything like that. I just had a runny nose, went through several boxes of tissues, and a lot of pressure in the head. First few days, like my teeth were hurting. There was so much pressure and sore throat, and you probably hear that. But um, definitely been sicker before, but it's just enough to be like annoying and not wanting to do anything. But how's it going, Dr. Anthony? Says I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. He is in Peru. I do have a question. I picked up a group of orange Neos from the auction last time I spoke to y'all. They are throwing orange release. Is that common? Yeah. Oranges, reds, and a lot of the blue lines will throw the really morph. Oranges is one of those colors that not a lot of people focus on, so that's why there's a lot of low grades and a lot of culls um, when you buy oranges just in the mix. I actually just watched, I think, my first like video of Iquitos, like riding around the town. Um, a guy that I like never watched before ever was going to a nursery in Iquitos, and I was like, oh, I got to check this out. But he's like riding around on a moped throughout the town, and it was much different than what I expected. Like there was billboards and stuff around, and I wasn't picturing that. How's it going, Craig? How was the birthday? Hope you had a good one. Joy, Kelly, Shark, Derpy Shark, welcome. Just one more fish. How's it going, Jesse? Okay, now we have gotten over the one ice storm of the year. Grant and Shelby can now come to the Atlanta Fish Group without worries. I have so many questions, but we'll wait until the presentation. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Atlanta swap meet. Um, Not swap meet, my talk. I'm so sorry. To the meeting. It's my first time being up there. I was scheduled to be there in 2020 in February, but I'm pretty sure everyone can put together why that talk didn't happen. How's it going, Aquarium Fantasy? Welcome. Jonathan G, nice to see you. Craig's Catfish member for 36 months. Thank you so much, man, for all your support. Really appreciate you. Malcolm Reynolds, looking forward to seeing you again in Chicago this year. MC Reptiles, welcome, welcome. CR Fish, how are you? Aquarium Boss Canada, how's it going? But tonight is the night to ask me a bunch of questions. I do have some things I'm going to talk about and go over on a little list I put together. But um, I think what's going to make this live stream is if somebody had some questions, whether they be on just base. I wanted to do my Neocaridina like refresher course, like how to breed Neocaridina going into 2026. I even had an idea of things I wish I knew before I got into shrimp keeping. And then Shelby had like 5 things that we were supposed to do in order. So I have no clue where we stand on any of that. But because we didn't even know what was going to go on with this, I left it up to general discussion. So please ask your questions away, um, and don't be shy. How's it going, Laura? And I'm sure Zach's around too. Welcome, welcome. Um, so did I say hi to Frogs Fishing More and George RB3? I'm not sure if I did. Welcome, guys. And Fish Fan Link also is in the chat. So I am a little bit down. We were trying to figure out whether or not we were going to go hang out with Skipper and Richard Reynolds today. I was hoping that We got everything together after the auction on Saturday and could figure some things out for the kids to be picked up after school on Monday. But then we both got sick, and I figured it wasn't best to get you guys sick also while you're down enjoying Florida and whatnot. So hopefully you guys are having fun and collecting and catching a bunch of stuff. I look forward to seeing the photos. How's it going, Matt? Um, yeah, I'm all caught up in chat. But I did mention the auction just briefly. The Space Coast Club here in Florida had their annual auction last Saturday, and it was really nice. Matt Mills and his family and all of his volunteers from the club, Greg and his family, they put together some really nice events. Their club is mainly on the east coast of Florida. However, they recognize that a good portion of the aquarium hobby as a whole is spread out along both coasts. And they decided that they were going to throw their annual auctions, their annual swap meets at a hotel in Orlando. Which is a lot closer for me. Instead of it being a 3-hour drive, it's like a 2-hour drive. Orlando does have some heavy traffic on the way, sadly. But because they're in a nice hotel, they're more central, because they're really good at advertising and promoting the events. The shows are or the auction and the swap meet that they do is actually really, really nice. So we did $400 in sales. We did bring 40 bags. The way the auction works is $1 per bag is the fee to enter into the auction, and then they take a 20% cut or 25%. I can't remember the percentage cut now. But it is a lot of money for the club for the whole year. It's how my club and many other clubs are able to afford to bring in speakers from out of state. I know Matt's in talks with Diana Wolstead, so it'd be cool to get her to come back down to Florida. I'll go to that meeting over there. It's not easy for us to make those meetings. They're a third Saturday or fourth Saturday of the month, the fourth Saturday of the month. But it's like 3.5-hour drive for us, and it's also on a shipping day. So if we go to like Pasco meeting and then Tampa meeting the following weekend, we kind of fall behind on shipping out orders. So it's rough for us to go to all 3 club meetings, and the Space Coast one being the furthest one away by at least double the drive distance for Tampa even. It's sadly not on the agenda most months, but for certain speakers, you got to make sure you clear up some space and start shipping out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to make up for it. Garcia Aquatics, how's it going, man? New local Austin, thank you. I'm feeling much better. Saturday was miserable. Sunday was miserable. Today, though, I'm quite fine. There's not nearly as much pressure up in the head area. I don't have a headache. It's mainly, I'm shaking the table so much tonight. I'm so sorry. It's mainly just runny nose and sore throat now. How's it going, Linda Worth? And then there's Zach. How's it going? So auction was great. Big success. I did want a big piece of Boos on a little driftwood, but that ended up going for a little over my budget. I think my max price for it was $40, and it went for $46. But I did hesitate for a second because both people were up at 44, and they both went down when it went to 46. And the guy goes, first one up, gets it for 46, and I was like, I want it. And the other guy was behind me, and I didn't realize that's who was bidding. And he ended up nabbing it before I could stick my paddle up there. But Other than that, I didn't really see anything that I really wanted. There was some rainbow tiger endlers that I probably would have put a bid on them, but if they went for a little bit too high a price, I probably wouldn't have taken them. We're really close on wrapping up the house back up into a prime condition again. There's a bunch of tanks on this rack to my right of me, the 110-gallon tank rack, that need cleaning up. But I've already gone through them, killed off the Cladophora. I've gone through and dosed some of the tanks that had blue-green algae with a couple doses of Maricin. Some of them I think need a couple more and a good water change or two, but um, it's to the point where I've got empty tanks. I just don't know if I want more mouths to feed while I'm still trying to finish up the rest of the tanks. But we do have a ton of guppies that are breeding a bunch of babies, endlers. Um, the rainbows are growing up well. I think the Fahaka, after talking with a buddy of mine, I think he's got a parasite. So I did order some Paraclens from Fritz to hopefully pump out those parasites or worms or whatever the puffer has, because it's just not growing as much for how many puffer fish snail, oh man, snails that I'm throwing into the tank. And we got Kelly. I have 2 tanks cycling and looking good. What should I put in them? My answer is always going to be shrimp. What types of shrimp? For Neocaridina, I say pick your favorite color. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, raccoon tigers are probably my favorite shrimp right now that can handle a massive range of water parameters. They're nicer to me than Stardust and just as hardy. You can also go with Tangerine Tigers. I'm just not a big fan of orange, so the kind of purple bands and blue color that you get from the Raccoon Tigers are what I'm after. Vibes. Good evening, bro. It's great to see you. Stopping by before heading to bed. Blanket. Bye. Oh man, and he drops in 2 $1.99 super stickers, and I need to figure out like a tablet or a way to just have my YouTube up on my phone so I can see what them stickers are. But thank you, Vibes. Appreciate that, buddy. I'm gonna jump in here and see if I can see what those are. Tired and Vibes. All right. Well. Oh, and then we got the Fish Fam links, and thank you as well. Types. Do you have cheetahs? So I have some cheetah hybrids that I would let go, but I do not have any pure cheetahs available, and I don't know if I will have any for the foreseeable future because I think I have all males. After looking at the shrimp last few times, I can't find any females in those tanks, and they used to be really prolific. And I don't know what happened, if I just ended up with too many males and they choked out the females. And I just never saw any dead babies, and the juveniles all grew up to be males or whatever females were growing up. Maybe they just got stressed out and whatnot. But I'm gonna have to see who has some of my pure lines and cheetahs out there, or if somebody's gonna bring them into the United States again, because I currently don't have any breeding colonies of cheetahs. I have hybrids, and I think that's a big part of what my problem was I wanted to cross a bunch of the shrimp with the cheetahs, and I think I pulled females just because it was easier to make into my other breeding projects. So I think that's where a big part of my downfall was. And then how's it going, Moat? And all males. Yeah, it's man, I want to say jokes. I don't think they're inappropriate, so I'm not going to say them. But it is definitely looking like a bunch of flat bodies, no saddles, long antenna, in both of my tanks. And I have a tank that is 100% Serrata tigers, which is where I cross my green apple tigers with my cheetahs, and they look mainly like cheetahs, but they're not pure cheetah. And I don't know how they are in the wild, like the Serrata genetics and where the cheetahs are pulled from compared to like the Tangerine Tiger pools or the Auroras or like the Reds or anything like that. Um, but it's got to be close because it's almost dominated by shrimp that look just like cheetahs. So there is babies in that tank, and I keep looking up there because they are in the tank all the way. They're in. Oh, I can't even point that high. I guess I can. I can't do it. I'm sick. I'm not gonna try and figure it out, but it's the second to right tank. Um, I wanted to have this whole rack um, cleaned up on Sunday, so that we could have like gone through and taken care of like the glass and cleaned that up and maybe done a small water change. But I felt so horrible on Sunday. I stayed in bed the entire time. Um, and no, I wasn't even getting dizzy. I just couldn't figure it out, like how to point my hand and angle it with the camera and get it closer. It's like backwards the way I look through it. All right. So next thing on my list, before I got sick and had to pack up for the auction and everything like that, after last week's live stream, I did have Tuesday and Wednesday was shipped out to try and catch up with orders. But Wednesday and Thursday, I got the backyard pretty much all cleaned up. All of my planted tubs, all of the Madaka rice fish, all of the mountain cloud minnows, all of the tubs, not only just and the turtle tubs too. They not only got a water change, but I went through there and gutted them of all algae, all Cladophora. I hit them with the medical grade hydrogen peroxide. And I thoroughly removed out as much algae as I could. Some of the tubs that are empty of fish, I went ahead and like pretty much dumped the tubs out and then refilled them back up with water and then put the hydrogen peroxide in behind it. So hopefully until the frog parties start up again, I won't have any Cladophora issues. And then my goal is this year, when I get my tax return, I'm just going to buy a bulk load of hydrogen peroxide so that way I can stay on top of it outside and just not have any algae issues. And even though I haven't started in the greenhouse yet with the shrimp tubs in there, I'm going to start in there, and then I will start treating those with hydrogen peroxide, I think, too. I'm going to start talking about more of that here in a second. Hold on. Richard Reynolds, how's it going? I'm not sure if you're still a skipper or not. I'm sure you had a great day, or hopefully you did, and we're able to catch a bunch of things and show Skipper a great part of our state. I missed hanging out with both of you guys. I already talked about it in the beginning of the live stream, but I'm just so sick the last few days. We weren't able to get a sitter to pick up the kids. I don't know why. I should have planned that out earlier, but I didn't want somebody else to babysit our kids and then they get sick also. So wasn't able to make it, but hopefully you guys had a great time. And Toop Dog, I'm late. It is no problem. You didn't miss much. Oh, man. As you can tell, I'm a little bit stuffy. I'm just a tad bit under the weather. I'm feeling better today, though, compared to the last few days. Beard is getting long. It is definitely getting long. I had to trim the mustache. I couldn't take that no more, though. All right. So ponds are cleaned up. The weather outside the next like week is going to be brutal. I've been checking like on the plants outside, and there's so many plants that are like just barely hanging on and not melting back from this cold. And I'm worried this next week is going to do all of those plants in. A lot of my swords and Anubias, they'll be just fine. But some of my crypts. The ones that surprisingly seem to be the most hardiest are the red tiger spiralis, and they're looking a little yellow, and I've never seen them yellow. They're usually like green throughout the entire winter. They don't do much growing, but they at least look great throughout the entire winter. Where all my other crypts, like the Wendentii, and I have some Nuri Rosa Maiden, and those ones all melt on me. Pink flamingos, forget about it. They're toast every winter. And then like the other ones, not the pink flamingos, everything else usually grows back during the springtime. But it just looks like crap. I like it to be nice, healthy growing plants out there, but there's no greenhouse that is ever going to be in that backyard again for plants, at least under our ownership. I don't know what the next owners will do, but I'm done with greenhouses at this house. I will do more greenhouses in the future, just not at this property. I'm at that point now where I just want to make everything that I have mint and produce as much as it possibly can before we move on to bigger and better things. Yeah, and Skipper's here. Who just got back. You guys find anything cool and interesting? Not sure where exactly you went, but I think you mentioned one place, and there's definitely lots of gators out there. But I'm not sure about this time of the year. We went just a few weeks to Shelby's Talk, and I don't think we saw any gators at all. Not the entire time. All right, so the shrimp bins, though, outside during these temperatures, they are just fine. They do not graze and feed as much. Corey, in like 2 streams ago, I think we unboxed the box from Corey. Sent me 100-pack of the snail and shrimp mineral shell things. I'm not sure what he called them now off the top of my head, but I'm waiting for Shelby to catch up on orders outside, and I'm going to throw one of those into each one of the ponds, and the shrimp will pretty much get as much food off of those as they'll need for like 2 or 3 weeks, even with thousands of shrimp in there. They're just not eating that much. The colder it gets, the more they kind of hide. They don't really move. There will be tubs that have thousands of shrimp, and you'll look in them and you won't find any. And you're thinking to yourself, oh no, they're all gone and they're toast and something bad has happened to them. And then the first like warm day, they're all like sun tanning on the sides, and all the 1,000 shrimp will come out. And we got worried the first 2 years, but now we're used to it. It doesn't really bother us anymore. They do really, really well in the summer times. Not so much in the winter time, but they don't fade away or perish. They just don't grow up as fast and breed out as much. The weather up north has been brutal. So if you have an order with us, there's a chance that if you're further than like 9 hours of us driving, we probably held it back this Monday. There's just a lot of delays, especially the further north you go with the big snowstorm that they had and everything like that. So we're holding back a couple of packages, but we did send out 8 boxes today to the places that were a little bit warmer. But we do guarantee live arrival. If you have anything wrong with your box, just make sure you take a picture of the shrimp in the bag or whatever the product is that you got in the bag before you open it up, and send it to us within an hour of delivery, and we'll take care of that 100% for you. I took them to Loop. Everything is so dry already. Bluefin killies, golden top minnows, least killies, and mollies, the usual. Oh, man. So no invasives, though. I think it's so cold, and when it's the coldest, the invasives die back as a lot. The invasives die back to the lower part of the more southern Florida, and then they have to repopulate themselves back up north. I'm sure there's rare occasions where some of them might survive a more harsh winter, and then their genetics are passed on, and you'll have more and more hardy fish throughout the years. But the last few times we were there in the wintertime, it's like almost dead for the invasives. They disappear, and they all come back though. There's a ton of jaguar cichlids, Oscars, Mayans, Midas cichlids, jewel cichlids, Balanasox, the little murder guppies, um, all in that area. Um, I'm sure that's what he was after too. It's a bummer. All right. So then, really, all I got planned. I wanted to get my taxes done yesterday too. Um, get those done early as possible. Facebook, or not Facebook, but PayPal sends out the W-2 forms or 1099s. I can't remember what they are. And I got that. So usually I try to get that done as soon as possible before um, I get started with the rest of the year. In past years, I'll get it done like on the first or second of the month, but we've just had a few things going on this month that took my attention away from it. So the taxes is going to be my next priority. But after I'm finished with doing the taxes, I'm caught up with the things inside the house that I want to get caught up on. There's nobody coming by or anything like that. I want to do the tour video of our house. So I'm going to be like touching up spot tanks and getting things cleaned up. I'll do the fronts of all of these tanks and stuff for the next live stream and whatnot. But after the taxes are done, I want to get the tubs on the other side of the house. Right now, I've got IBC totes going down the left side of the house all the way back to the greenhouse. And those tubs are running with filters, air powered sponge filters, and all have shrimp in them. And they've been producing really well for us for a few years. But I never really had enough time to take care of more ponds outside and keep up with like quality of the shrimp. I'm not about quantity, I'm more about quality. So that's really important for me. And then um, the way I'm going to set up these tubs though is with the wastewater from my RO unit. So the water is going to drip in. I've got all of the hosing, all of the T connectors and adjuster valves, and I'm probably at first just going to on a level plane just drill a bunch of holes, little tiny ones that I feel like the baby shrimp won't go into, and just have it overflow over the top. Eventually, I think I'm going to run some type of line with a air stone at the end of it or something like that that can possibly suck up the water from the bottom and drip out the sides. So I won't have to worry about a lot of the contaminants building up in the bottom of the water column. Dr. Anthony said you probably did not catch enough of the fish I wanted. If there's any fish you want, though, Doc, you can just let us know. I'm always after a hit piece. If I can go after a certain species or something that you want, let me know. Me and Shelby are looking for excuses to get out of the house. But yeah, the water levels in the wintertime are really low down there. So that's a bummer. When we were just there fishing, we were on some of the bottom rocks on Alligator Alley. So I was unsure if some of them were safe to stand on or not. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to have a very long live stream. 30 minutes is not very long at all. I want to make sure I did something, though. I am getting to the point where I'm losing more and more of my voice. So if nobody had any questions or needed anything, I might wrap that up for this week. Get some rest. Take care of all the stuff that I mentioned. Update you guys next week and hit you guys with an hour-long podcast style format thing, like what we kind of mentioned and talked about. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. Saw the Pike live bearers, which is the Bella Nice Sox, but couldn't get to them. Ah, that's a bummer. Those are so fun to catch too because they jump, and usually we'll be collecting, and it's at pitch black, dark out, and you'll hear a bunch of splashes, and it's the Belenay Sox like scaring one another. So it jumps, and the one jumps, and like they're funny, but they're fun to catch. Gargle with some salt water. I don't know if I can do that one. I avoid salt water at all costs. You're going to do more tomorrow. If I know tomorrow is an option, I might have tried to do something, but I'm sick. I don't think that's good. Got Justin here. I have bought the cheap CO2 tablets. Imaginarium is the name of them. Can somebody please tell me they are safe for shrimp if used? I don't know if those are the same as the ones that I get from Denarly or Denarl. But I use the Denarl ones just fine in my shrimp tanks. So maybe try them out on one of your cheaper shrimp. But I'll be honest, the CO2 tablets really didn't do much for my plants at all. So, we got Steenfod Aquatics, dude, buddy. Email me at thegardeneater@gmail.com and send me your address, and I'll hook you up with some of those aquatic isopods for you. Gargle some whiskey. I haven't had whiskey in the house in so many years. It's been a while. Not that I'm anti-whiskey or anything. I don't buy alcohol. Night Owl Aquatics. How's it going, Drew? I understand that if you fall asleep, you can kill your shrimp if your tank runs empty. But if you, did you say tablets? All right, I get what you're saying. Yeah, if your tank springs a leak, you can definitely cause some issues and gas out your shrimp. But I don't think the tablets are going to be gassing out anything. And then the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. Yeah, they're definitely interesting. I actually met a person up in Pennsylvania that has like 4 different varieties of them. So I was planning on grabbing a bunch of them from the Keystone Clash, but sadly, I don't think I'll make it to the Keystone Clash this year. Maybe me or Shelby can speak for one of the clubs up there this year, maybe. And I can hook you up with some too, Doc. Yeah, we had just talked about the cheetahs earlier before. Somebody, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but asked about them. And when I get to cleaning up these tanks, when I start feeling better, yeah, see, somebody asked, do we have cheetahs? And all males. But yeah, Justin, you will be first in line if I can get them going. But I'll also give you first dibs on the. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. The hybrid tank where I crossed them with the green tigers. They look pretty much just like the cheetahs still. And Zach says his aquatic isopods are booming. Yeah, they're one of those things where I just want to get them out into the hobby and get them out there. They're really easy for people to breed in with their Neocaridina shrimp. But I think that's going to do it, guys. Yeah, I pulled that up. I found it. But I think that's going to be um, about it for tonight. Next week, though, we'll be doing a little podcasting, like I mentioned. Hopefully, Shelby will be back with me. But thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight and putting up with my half lit attempt to do a live stream. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.